Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today we are going to be making a creamy, garlicky pasta that is inspired by garlic bread. The toasted bread that's covered with butter and garlic. Sounds fantastic, right? It's something that we already know, garlic bread, but applied to pasta. So simple, so easy. So today's recipe is inspired by Cheat Day Eats. I'll put a link down below to the inspiration and we're going to make it. The reason why I am intrigued by this recipe is we're going to be making a kind of compound butter. Compound butter is a seasoned or herbed butter that we're going to mix our cooked pasta in. But the ingredient that I'm really tickled about is Boursin cheese, which is a soft herb cheese that you can spread on your crackers or dip your crudité in. I also like this recipe because it looks super easy and perfect for summer because you don't really have to do a lot of work. Let's get our pasta going. I'm going to liberally salt it. This is kosher salt. And to my salted boiling water, I'm going to add 1 pound of pasta. I'm using pappardelle, which is this really nice wide pasta. But you can use any pasta you like or have on hand. Interesting how different shapes look like more or less pasta. This is still a pound of pasta, just like a box of penne, but it seems like so much more. I'm gonna give this a little stir so it doesn't stick to the bottom, and then set my timer. All right, so while that's boiling, let me show you how to roast heads of garlic. Super easy, simple, and really handy thing to have around. So if you're gonna roast a head of garlic, you might as well roast a few because, you know, you're heating up the oven anyways. So here are a couple heads of garlic that came right out of my garden. They've been drying in the garage. I harvested them a few weeks ago. It's important to dry them so that they can cure up nicely so you can store them for a few months. I love growing garlic. It's so easy. You plant them late in the fall. They're the first thing to come up in spring, so they're super cheery in your garden, nice and green. No pests like to eat them. So what I do is I save a few of my best heads of garlic. I break them up into individual cloves, and each clove will give me another head of garlic the coming summer. Isn't that wonderful? So there are two general varieties of garlic. There's hard neck and soft neck. The hard neck is, this neck is hard and you cannot braid it. You know, those beautiful braids of garlic, those are made with soft neck garlic. I like growing this variety. It grows well in my region. I also like it because the cloves of garlic go around the central stalk. So you just get one ring of really large garlic cloves rather than getting all those little tiny ones inside, you know what I mean? When I take it out of the garden, I don't clean them up too much or let them dry because you don't want to bruise the fresh garlic because then it won't keep as well. I usually do this part in the garden, but I wanted to show you. So you take off the stalk after you've cured it. And curing it just means drying it out so it doesn't mold. I'll put that back in the compost. And then to clean these up, you can snip all this off and then brush off the dirt. You can also peel these outer layers off, but again, only do this when you're about to eat the garlic because these layers protect the garlic. Using a sharp knife, we're going to cut the head of garlic across the middle this way. And that will expose the cloves of garlic inside. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? So gorgeous, it looks like a flower. So as you can see, there are 6 cloves of garlic. Look at the size of those cloves, they're huge. And that little center is the hard neck. So now we're gonna drizzle a little bit of oil on top. If you like, you can add some salt and pepper too. Cover these up and bake these in a 400-degree oven for about 45 minutes or until the cloves are nice and squishy and soft. These are a wonderful spread on toast, on bread, added to all kinds of salads, just really handy to have. And I'm gonna drain my pasta, but I'm gonna reserve some of the pasta water. So now that the pasta's cooked, let's go ahead and make our sauce or our compound butter. I've got a stick of softened butter in this bowl here, and I've got whole package of Boursin cheese. This is the original garlic and fine herbs, and this was what it looks like inside. It's kind of fancy, doesn't it? But it tastes a lot like sour cream and onion potato chips in my opinion. I don't know why, something about the packaging makes it feel kind of indulgent. It makes it feel special. So you open it like this. We're gonna add the whole puck to this. I mean, gosh, so good. Dump that in. To that, we're going to add a good amount of shredded Parmesan cheese. So this is what the garlic looks like when it's finished. It's, oh.
What?
Wait. This is the wrong one. I'm like, this is hard. That's not even cooked. That's the one that I prepped for you. So this is what the garlic looks like when it's cooked. Nicely roasted, and look at all that caramelization, and look how soft it is. That's what you want it to look like. So in goes the garlic. You can just squeeze it right out. It's not fun. So you don't have to peel it at all. See, it just pops right out. All that precious stuff out. You have to like garlic to like this recipe, but I don't imagine you'd be making this recipe unless you did like garlic. Freshly cracked pepper. I like quite a bit. Some red pepper flakes, flat leaf parsley. This too comes out of the garden. So now we're just gonna mush this all together. I think you could put this on anything. I mean, theoretically anything, not ice cream. I don't think I would want this on ice cream, but you know what I mean. So the garlic is so soft, it just mushes right in. This allows all the flavors to be well incorporated. I suppose you could just add the pasta to this, but I think this step is a good one. And add our pasta, which should still be warm. And I have some chicken broth and some reserved pasta water. I'm gonna add some chicken broth to that. 2 spatulas to help toss this. Oh my gosh. It sounds terrific. I love that. Can you hear that? A little more chicken broth. Now, try not to break your pasta. So be gentle with the tossing. Got some breadcrumbs that I toasted and a little bit of butter. A little crunch, a little buttery finish. A little toasty nuttiness. And of course, the rest of that parsley. Oh, and a little cheese too, right? A little extra cheese. Gorgeous. Listen to that. Look at this. Whew. Gorgeous. Alrighty, let's go ahead and give the garlic bread inspired pasta a taste. I think this might be my new favorite pasta shape, pappardelle. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. It tastes a lot like an Alfredo sauce, to be honest. Those 2 heads of garlic that we put in there completely mellowed out. Really mellow and sweet and not overly garlicky. Even less garlicky than if you had minced a couple cloves of garlic and sauteed them in olive oil. That to me has a stronger garlic flavor than the roasted garlic. Here it's really mild and sweet. In fact, I taste more of the creamy cheese going on here. The Boursin cheese tastes a little bit like sour cream and onion in my opinion. I think even a little bit more salt to the whole dish. I thought between the butter and the cheese that this would be too salty, but it's not. So don't be shy, add a little bit more salt to it. The black pepper and the chili flake I think are also essential. I love that combination of a little bit of spice with the creaminess. And the parsley, there isn't enough for me to really distinguish it, but I think it really brightens things up and livens things. It makes it look a little bit more interesting with this little flecks of green. Don't be shy with the salt. Great. And I think because we use the Boursin cheese, it does have a little bit of that kind of pre-made flavor to it. Just a little bit, but it's not a bad thing in my opinion. It's just like when you have ranch dressing. I love Hidden Valley Ranch. Just dipping my carrot sticks into that. There's a very kind of unique and particular flavor that distinguishes Hidden Valley Ranch that comes out of a bottle versus ranch dressing that you make at home from scratch. I've yet to make a from scratch ranch recipe, for example, that I like more than the stuff that comes in a jar. There's a certain kind of industrialized flavor. Know what I mean? And there's a little bit to this. A little flat though. Oh, this is what I get for calling the pasta flat when it's like papa dough. It is flat. Oh, my hand's all over my mic. Okay, this time I'm gonna go. All right, my lovelies. Thanks as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye. The kids are gonna love this. Love it.